Hello, welcome to another session of our class on quadratic equation. Today we are going to look at how we find the quadratic equation when the roots are given. We know the roots are what? The two values that satisfies a quadratic equation. So we are going to look at when we are given the root, can we also obtain the quadratic equation? Yes. So when you are given the root, this is how a quadratic equation can be obtained. Then it means that when the coefficient of the x square is 1, then what it means that to obtain the root, then you will subtract, or it is minus whatever we have here, the coefficient of the x, okay, is minus the sum of the root multiplied by the coefficient of the s. Then when you want to get the constant, it is what? The product of the root, and then it will be equal to 0. So what we are saying here is that to get a quadratic equation, when you are given the roots, then the equation can be obtained as s squared, when the coefficient of the s squared is 1. Then when you put the root together, okay, that is when you add the sum of the roots, then you multiply by the x, that is you subtract after you have put it together, minus the sum of root, then you multiply by s, then plus the product, then you multiply the roots, then equate it to what? Equate it to 0. So this is our formula for obtaining a quadratic equation when the roots are given. S squared minus the sum of root multiplied by s plus the product of root equal to 0. While the sum of root, we are going to what? Add the two values, or we are going to add the roots, and the product of roots, we are going to multiply the roots. So let's look at the example and then we solve. Okay, so we are going to find quadratic equation whose roots are minus 3 and 4. So this is what we say that what? We have s squared minus the sum. So we put the root together, minus 3, these are the roots, plus 4, multiplied by x plus the product, that is minus 3 times 4, then equate it to what? Equate it to 0. So this is what we are going to get. So we have s squared minus 3 plus 4 will give us what? 1 x, then plus minus 3 times 12 is going to, minus 3 times 4 is going to give us negative 12 equal to 0. So we have s squared minus 1x will give us minus x, then plus minus 12 will give us minus 12 equal to 0. Alright, so this is our quadratic equation, s squared minus s minus 12 equal to what? Equal to 0. And with this quadratic equation, the roots are negative 3 and then 4. Okay, you see how simple it is. With the same thing, so it means that when you solve this quadratic equation, you are going to get negative 3 and 4. There is another way you can work the same question. Alright, so if I'm giving the root as negative 3 and then positive 4, then it means that before we had our answer as negative 3 and 4, this was the factors of the quadratic. So x, here is minus 3, you make it plus 3, and then here is positive 4, you make it negative 4, equal to what? Equal to 0. So you see, look here, when you solve, this is quadratic, the two factors of the quadratic. Okay, when you are solving a quadratic and you factorize, you get this. So it means that when you equate this one to 0, it will be s plus 3 equal to 0, where s will be equal to negative 3, that is the root. Then we have x minus 4 equal to 0, which implies s equal to what? S equal to 4. So what it means is that when you expand this, okay, factorization here, you should get back the root. Alright, so whenever you are giving the root, then what you can do is that when it is positive, you make it negative, or negative, make it positive like this. So this is minus 3, so you write at s plus 3, and this is positive, for write at s minus 4. Alright, so before we had the value, you find the two factors, okay, of the quadratic, or that is the factorization. Then you use that and then you solve and get your equation. So let's expand and see if we get back the same thing here. Okay, so x times x will give me x squared x times minus 4 will give me minus 4x. 3 times x will give me plus 3x. And then 3 times minus 4 will give me minus 12 equal to 0. So I have x squared minus 4x plus 3x will give me minus x minus 12 equal to 0. So alternatively, okay, so you can solve the same question when you are given the root and get the same answer as using the formula s squared minus sum of root multiplied by s plus the product of root equal to 0. You see how simple it is. Let's solve another question and see how it is going to be. All right. Find the quadratic equation whose roots are 7 and minus 4 on 5. And let's see how we are going to do it. So we know that we have s squared minus the sum. So sum is 7 plus minus 4 on 5 multiplied by x plus the product. So 7 times minus 4 on 5 equal to 0. Okay, so this is what we are going to have. So we are going to have s squared minus, so let's do the sum. 7 plus minus 4 over 5, 7 plus minus 4 over 5 will give us minus, will give us 31 on 5, then x, then we have plus, let's also look at 7 times minus 4 over 5 will give us minus 28 on 5 equal to 0. We are going to have s squared minus 31 on 5x, then plus minus will give us minus 28 over 5 equal to 0. So here what we can do is to get rid of the denominator by multiplying through by 5. So I have 5s squared minus 31x minus 28 equal to 0. So when you multiply through by 5 will cancel, 5 will cancel. We have 5s squared minus 31x minus 28 equal to 0. So this becomes the quadratic equation whose root are 7 and negative 4 on 5. Okay, so let's look at another way we can solve the same question as we did in the first one. Alternatively, what we can say is we have positive 7, so we can have x minus 7 and then negative 4 over 5, so that will be positive s plus 4 over 5 then equal to 0. Okay, so these are the two factors we have. Then after that, what are we going to do? We are going to expand. All right, we are going to expand. So we are going to multiply x by x. Then have x squared, then x by 4 over 5 will give us what? Plus 4 over 5x. Then we can minus 7 times, so it will give me minus 7x, and then minus 7 times 4 over 5 will give me minus 7 times 4, 28 on 5 equal to 0. All right, so this is what we have. X times x will give me s squared, s times 4 over 5 in 4 over 5x, minus 7 times x will give me minus 7x, and then minus 7 times 4 over 5 will give me minus 28 on 5. All right, so what are we going to do? What we are going to do now is to add or subtract our like terms, and then we get our answer. All right, so we are going to have s squared, then 4 over 5 x minus 7x will give us minus 31 over 5x. All right, then minus 28 on 5 equal to 0. So what we have to do is to get rid of the square, to get rid of the denominator, which is what? The common 5. So we multiply here by 5s squared, here by 5 give us 31s minus 28 equal to 0. So you realize that we are getting what? The same answer. All right, so you can go by the formula s squared minus sum of roots multiplied by s plus product will equal to 0, or you can take the root, okay, and then you write the factors. You change the sign. If it is negative, you make it positive. If it is positive, make it negative, as you have done here, and you are going to get the same answer. All right, I would like us to solve last one, which involve roots. Okay, so let's look at this one too. Find the quadratic equation whose roots are, root 3 plus 1 and root 3 minus 1. Alright, so we are also going to look at this. So the same way, s squared minus the sum of roots. Okay, so we are going to add the roots. Multiply by s, then plus the product 3 plus 1. Let's put the 2 in the brackets and multiply equal to 0. Okay, so we have s squared plus the sum. So of the root is root 3 plus 1, root 3 minus 1. So we add, multiply by s plus the product, then we multiply equal to 0. So let's see what we have. S squared minus the sum. So if it is the sum, then we can have root 3 plus root 3, which will give us 2 root what? 2 root 3. That is root 3 plus root 3. That will be 2 root 3. And then 1 plus minus 1 will be 0. Okay. Multiply by x. Then we have plus. Let's look at the product. Alright. So root 3 times root 3 is going to give us what? 3. Root 3 times root 3 is 3. Okay. And then root 3 times negative, I'm going minus root 3. Then we have minus 1 times root 3 will give us positive root 3. Then we have minus 1 times minus 1 will give us minus 1. Okay. Equal to 0. Alright. So root 3 times root 3 is 3. Root 3 times 1 minus root 3. 1 times root 3 is minus positive root 3. And then 1 times minus 1 give me minus 1. Okay, so I'm going to have s squared minus 2 root 3 multiplying by x. Okay, then we will have plus 3 minus 1 will give me what? Will give me 2. And then root 3 minus root 3 will be 0. Okay, so 3 minus 2 equal to 0. So this is our quadratic equation, which is s squared minus 2 root 3s plus 2 equal to 0. So this is how our quadratic equation is going to be. And the root are this. Okay, let's see if we can also use the other method to get the same answer. Okay, the other approach. So we have x. Yes, positive root 3 plus 1. So you can make it minus root 3 plus 1. So this is our one bracket, another bracket 2. X, this is positive root 3 minus, so you can make it minus also root 3 minus 1. Okay, then we close equal to 0. Okay, so let's expand and then see. So these are the two factors. That when you equate this one to 0, you get this, and when you equate this one to 0, you get this. Okay, so we will have what? X minus root 3 minus plus will be minus 1. Then we're also going to have what? X minus root 3 minus will give us plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, so this is what the negative is going to affect this, and then we are going to have this. Alright, so let's see what we are going to get now. So what we have here, what we can do now is to what? Is to expand to get the same thing here. So this is what? A trinomial, 3 times 1, 2, 3. And so we are going to expand. I think it will be quite long, but I believe you'll get an answer. S times x will give me s squared. S times root x will give me negative root 3 x. Then x times 1 will give me plus x. Then I come to the negative root 3. So negative root 3 times will give me negative root 3x. Alright, negative root 3 times negative root 3. Negative times negative should give me positive. Root 3 times root 3 is 3, so plus 3. The negative root 3 times 1 will give me what? Will give me minus root 3. Then I come here, minus 1 times x will give me minus x. Okay? Then minus 1 times minus root 3 will give me positive root 3. Then minus 1 times 1 will give me minus 1. Then equal to what? Equal to 0. So x times x will give me x squared. X times this will give minus root 3 x. X times 1 will give me x. Minus root 3 times x will be minus root 3 x. Minus root 3 times minus root 2 will give me positive 3. Minus root 3 times 1 will give me minus root 3. Okay. Then minus 1 times s will give me minus s. Minus 1 times minus root 3 will give me positive root 3. And then minus 1 times 1 will give me minus 1. Okay. Equal to 0. So let's see. I believe there will be like terms. So I have s squared. Let me check the root 3x. Okay. So there is minus root 3x and minus root 3x. So minus minus will give me minus 1 minus 1 will give minus 2 root 3x. Okay, so that is done. Then I have x, positive x minus x will go away, will be 0. Then what do I have again? I have, okay, this is done. Then I have 3, alright, minus 1, which is 2. And I have root 3 minus root 3 plus root 3 will also go. So I have 3 minus 1, which will give me positive 2 equal to 0. So I have s squared minus 2 root 3x plus 2 equal to 0. So we see that I've been able to use the same thing and then come back to get the same answer. Just that this is quite lengthy as compared to the first one we have here. So I know and I believe with the 3 examples we have solved, when you are given roots, you can be able to find the quadratic equation. I will see you once more in our next lesson. Bye bye.